We at E.F.I have always told you lake pond stories from across the country. One particular story has caught your imagination and has many of you asking us where this water body is and what we've done with this. I proudly present to you the Moosi Rani Sagar stepwell restoration from Alwar, Rajasthan. We at E.F.I thank our primary donor, Ashok Leyland, our greater partner, the Hinduja Foundation's Jal Jeevan program, and Prince Albert II of Monaco Foundation, along with the Government of Rajasthan, the varying departments of Alwar municipality, and the larger volunteers who made this project a reality. Stepwells of India are pure hydro magic. Imagine in water stress zones of the country, artistically built storage units which are carved into the hills, which are deep dug into the ground, and they're not just being dug or carved, but they're done so intrinsically with so much creativity that it is a monument, and in this case, a water monument. The Moosi Rani Sagar restoration took us nearly 2 years. Harsh weather conditions, the global pandemic, and many challenges owing to the archaeological significance of this water body meant that everything had to be done manually, inch by inch. The Moosi Rani Sagar's multi-level hydro structure is as follows. The Aravallis Hills happen to be the world's oldest tabletop mountain. In this range of mountains, there are several hills at varying heights. Where two different hills of varying heights meet, at that confluence, there is a certain heat factor which enables rainfall activity. Alwar in Rajasthan has one such a confluence. At this point, there is tremendous rainfall activity which brings down large amounts of water gushing down towards the confluence of these two hillocks, which meant a lot of water was getting washed down the slopes, hill degradation, and much more. That is where local knowledge, cultural practice, and sustainable living in harmony with nature over the several centuries meant that people of this region who were water stressed understood and realized that they need to construct and conserve water where it is available. The Moosi Rani Sagar is a deeply cut step well on the slopes of the Aravalli, and it's not just one structure. Imagine a primary reservoir in the upper hill in the form of the Kishan Kund. The Kishan Kund is exactly at the confluence point of these two hillocks, where the rainfall activity and the flow is at its maximum. At nearly 30 to 40 feet, the Kishan Kund is the first receiver of the downflowing rains. Once the Kishan Kund is filled, whatever overflows runs through the hilly slopes in the form of a stone-pitched canal. This canal has further many other recharge wells and 2 check dams. The purpose of these check dams and the recharge wells on the path of the canal is to ensure that water penetrates the hill at varying points. Beyond the recharge wells and the check dams, the water finally reaches the Hathi Kund, which happens to be the sedimentation tank. The organic debris, the boulders, the silt, and the sand that get washed down the slopes of the hills settles at the Hathi Kund. And the excess water, now as clear liquid, flows into the Moosi Rani Sagar. 3, 7, 21 variations of pedestal steps, soapstone, limestone, sandstone combination meant stability and weather-resistant structures were established. The Moosi Rani Sagar has its inlet and the outlet at the same axis, which means that the Moosi Rani Sagar tapers in the opposite direction, therefore holds the water that is flowing in, and only the excess water flows out in the same direction of which it flowed in. The Moosi Rani Sagar's challenges included neglect over several decades meant that all the organic debris which was free flowing into the water body made this water body redundant as a habitat. The algal bloom, the toxicity, and the silt deposition, the collapsing infrastructure meant it was losing its sheen. Part of this collaboration, we cleaned up the entire hydrostructure from up in the hills from the Kishan Kund to the Moosi Rani Sagar as the last reservoir pond. The side walls were being plastered again, painted again. The fencing was redone as proper steel railing to prevent any further abuse. The Moosi Rani Sagar's water stagnation was being treated with a state-of-the-art filter aeration technique system, which meant that the water was pumped back into the source canal and repumped back into the Moosi Rani Sagar after filtration. The sludge was being used for setting up a garden on the slopes of the Hathi Kund, and many of these efforts, in fact, all of these efforts had to be manually done owing to its archaeological significance. There is so many more aspects of the story that we can keep pointing out. It took so many years for them to build this mega structure. It took a few years for us to abuse this mega structure. It's taken us 2 years to revive this mega structure, and it's going to take us a lifetime to tell you a story on how we revived it. Hail Moosi Rani Sagar and the brains behind it. Jai Hind.